You know, so often we get confused about fraud and consumer protection. This is not a bill that addresses the fraud that has embarrassed this state. This does not go to the heart of why we have lost $9 billion in taxpayer funds that have been stolen from this state. This is a consumer protection bill, and it's a pretty good one. Now, we will be back at some point in time because we know that the banks are starting to hold crypto reserves and that they will eventually need to have ATM access to be able to transact in crypto, and we'll be back to talk about that. But right now, when you've got a large number of transactions that are being done fraudulently, we need to step up and we need to protect those consumers. We need to protect those elderly people that are most vulnerable. You know, we've talked about AI, and my dad was very nearly a victim of this type of scheme where they faked my son's voice and told him that my son was in jail and he needed to go and use these gift cards to pay his bail. And my dad bought it. Now, my dad was also suffering from, you know, the beginnings of Alzheimer's at the time, and he wasn't thinking exactly rational, but those are the exact people that are being preyed upon. You know, we may not like everything in this bill. We may recognize that there'll be something going on forward down the line. But let's not forget that every bucket of water starts with a drop, and this is a drop. But let's also not delude ourselves into thinking that this is going to fix the fraud problem. We had a good amendment to help start fixing that fraud problem today. We couldn't even bring it up to a vote. That was disappointing, Mr. President. But let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. Let's take that first drop. Let's protect consumers today.